To be fair, though, I feel like our bond over the scamdemic brought us closer together. And,
Sure.
and like Matt just said, it really showcased, okay, you're a true friend. You're someone that I can trust and I can count on. And you're just listening to, whatever the last impression of the person that sat on you last was.
Yeah, exactly. No, like I got like, I'm a pretty, I'm very busy. I don't have time to see many friends until summertime when I'm golfing. But during that winter when the pandemic hit, that friendship with those guys that had the same views as me, that were, awake to the propaganda being pushed. It's so deep, man. It's hard to explain. Um, but if I don't see them for a month, for a year, the second I see those guys, nothing has changed. Like, it's just like we pick up right where we left off, and there's, it feels so fresh and real. I think real is the right word for it. I got a lot of friends that are great people, but the conversation is not deep. It's not, it's all like,
Service level.
surface level stuff. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm not going to waste my time anymore. If I'm going to go golfing, I want to golf with my buddies that are the same mindset, that are just, you know, freedom guys. I mean, it's,
You think it coincides with the ability to think deep? Like if you were able to get on that same side as how we see
for
things,
sure.
you're a deep thinker, and if you're not,
Yeah.
it's just bare bones surface level.
Yeah. If I look at myself, I'm a critical thinker. A lot of people these days aren't, and I didn't think that. I didn't know that. It's just, yeah, it's so strange that I'm not saying these people aren't intelligent. They are, but I think they're either raised on the mainstream media. Their parents push them to it, and they just don't fight for themselves mentally or critically think for themselves, where it's just like they believe everything they're told. And for me in school, like I hated school. I didn't like school. I was a guy that, I'd look out the window and be like, what can I do tomorrow in hockey? What can I do? Like I was looking out the window dreaming of what I was going to do. Right. I wasn't, repeating what I was told, like memorizing shit from these teachers. And, I see these kids these days that hate school, that they're just, they realize what they're being taught is not going to help them on later on in life. Like, why aren't we teaching about taxes in elementary school? Why aren't we teaching about, money management or any of this stuff? They want us to be good little workers for the system. And it's just very clear to me that there's a major issue in this country right now, and in the States. There's a lot of places that are having this issue.
Well, Matt, I don't think I have to talk you into this, but my wife and I feel that we have never made a better decision than when we decided to homeschool our kids. And boy, oh boy, we just absolutely adore it.
You teaching them Pythagoras' theorem?
Yes,
no?
yeah, all of it. Yeah. No,
Okay.
Listen, man. I mean, real life learning. It's not 9 to 5. It's it's in that situation. It's a learning experience. When we go to the grocery store, we say, okay, here's our budget. You need to go find this. You need to go find this. Make sure the sugar content is under this. You can't go over this line. And they're learning in real time. And once they got to the first time they did it, they got to the checkout counter and realized, what is a tax? Why is it more? We had this budgeted out right. To me, that's more real learning than, like you said, sitting in a classroom staring out the window.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy though. After COVID, how many kids started being like, the parents started homeschooling them. So good for you to do that. That's awesome. If I had if I could do that, I would.
You will. You will. You got 5 years. You got 5 years before you got to start thinking about that.
Yeah, you're right. But that's why I'm grinding now, right? To be able to take care of them later on. So, I just think, yeah.
How do you feel about that with possibly a son on the way? The idea of putting them in the actual school system. I know that we've kind of deviated from hockey, but I'm enjoying this. Please, I'm curious.
Oh, you mean the ones that are built with cinder blocks that look exactly like federal institutions for prisons? Those ones?
And when you're taught by teachers about business that have never owned a business, and if they did, they went bankrupt 3 times and know nothing about business? Yes, those ones.
Those that can't teach.
Those that can't teach gym.
No offense, Matt.
Those that can't teach gym, teach music. Ned Schneebly, 2004.
Yeah, it's gonna be strange. I'm not sure what we're gonna do here. We live in a very liberal part of London right now.
Yeah, it's called Ontario.
Yeah.
Anything south of Sudbury.
I mean, when I'm driving around here, I see a lot of liberal signs for the next coming election and NDP. I'm like, oh my god, like, these people. But I'm fortunate enough to my next door neighbor is a hardcore conservative like me, so I got lucky.
Does it scare you when you see stuff like that? Like you're driving around, you're seeing all these signs, and you're like, you're hoping that people are waking up to what's going on, and you're like, oh no, I don't think they're waking up.
I have hope because like I get my news from X. I will not listen to the mainstream. I will for a laugh once in a while, but after watching the election in the States, I could feel it right away that there was a big shift in the online world compared to the mainstream. And, mainstream's pumping out the candidate, obviously, hardcore, nonstop. And I'm going on X and I'm like, okay, he's winning for sure. There's no chance he's not winning. And sure enough, he did. So I'm hoping that same effect is happening in Canada right now. We have some big issues like, I can go on and on for days, but
you sound like a guy that may have had an internal conversation with yourself about maybe I should run for a level of government.
No.
Really, eh?
I'm not going near that. I got some friends that could do it. Don't want to name names, but I got some buddies that are very bright that could handle it.
Hey, more hockey content. It's might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?